Welcome. This is what to expect, basically a new student check-in for those of you who are in the spring 2024 cohort. Some of you have already met me. If you haven't, hi, I'm Adriana Kelly, and I'm your academic advisor. We also have a couple people coming in to help me go along with this presentation, but one of them is actually sick. I hope that you would get a chance to speak with her. She's part of our field team, but you'll have plenty of opportunities to speak with members of the field team throughout your time here. So we won't worry too much about that, but I'll make sure that when I send this recording out and the presentation out, that I provide you with the information so that you can ask any questions you might have in case it isn't addressed in this. So this brief presentation will just be what to expect in your classes with finances and with field placement. So you may have already noticed the course design for your first class is very similar to that of the orientation that you did through WebCourse. I'm sure, as I tried to warn some of you, that it is very heavy on reading and testing in the first course, and that's not the trajectory of the rest of your classes. So it's unusual and unfortunate that we start out with that. But if you are struggling or if you are finding that this is not the way that you learn best, I just want to let you know that it's going to be different very soon. So when your next class starts in March, I'm sure you'll notice the difference right away. You'll have more of a connection with your cohort mates, with your instructor. There will be different modes of receiving the information. It won't just be reading and testing. So you'll have YouTube links, you'll have class discussions. Some of your courses will have a live component to them so that you'll get to see everyone. But the instructor will alert you to when this live session or sessions will take place ahead of time, so you don't have to worry about preparing for that. For registration in your first semester, we enrolled you after you completed the online orientation. But in subsequent semesters, you will enroll yourself. So I will send you a very detailed email letting you know exactly what to take, what section numbers, the course numbers, all the information that you need to get enrolled. And the next registration will open at the end of March for summer. So keep an eye out on your email and I will send that information over to you when it's time. You may have noticed one or two modules on your web courses that are called Pressure to Plagiarize, excuse me, and Let's Be Clear. These are two modules that the main campus puts for all graduate students, all new students into UCF, and you are required to complete them or a hold will be placed on your account. Some of you may have seen that the hold is already on your account, but it doesn't take into effect or doesn't go into effect, excuse me, until a few months from now. So basically you have until the end of the semester to do the Pressure to Plagiarize module. And the Let's Be Clear module probably has a deadline of March 15th. You should have received an email. If you don't see the deadline for that, reach out to me and I'll let you know. They don't give us access to what you have, so we're sort of just playing a guessing game. But as long as you complete them by their deadlines, there should be no impact to your registration for next semester. And something else to pay attention to is My UCF to-do list items. So on the right-hand side, when you log into My UCF, you'll see any holds that you might have, and below that, any to-do list items. You might see right now graduate plan of study, and it indicates that you need to meet with your advisor to set that up. You have already completed this through the online orientation, so there's nothing you need to do. It's already been submitted and it will be removed from your to-do list in the coming weeks. I never really know how quickly it will come off, but it's been complete. If you got registered for classes, you're all set. You don't have to worry about that. That will also have to-do list items for financial aid, if that's something that you are using to pay for your classes. And if there's anything like a transcript hold, maybe you applied with a transcript that wasn't completed, didn't have your degree conferred on it. So you might need to send your final transcript before the semester ends. So just keep an eye on that. So course design, very similar to what you're doing now, but it'll be a little different in your coming classes. Registration, you're all set now. March, I will give you the information for the summer. You have two modules that you'll need to complete in order to avoid a hold on future registration. And just keep an eye on those My UCF to-do list items. what to expect with finances. So as a caveat, I am not a financial aid specialist. I have to rely on assistance from the main campus financial aid to get these answers, but I want to give you some general information. So for students who are interested in getting aid for this semester, you'll need to submit a 2023-2024 FAFSA, and that will cover the spring semester. Summer is a new start of a new loan year and is a separate award from fall and spring. So if you are looking to get aid in the summer, be sure to fill out the next FAFSA, the 2024 to 2025 FAFSA. Like I said before, the to-do list items might list something for financial aid. So be sure to check there to see if you have an award ready to accept. When you get an email or see an item in your to-do list, you can go in and accept your award through MyUCF. You can change the amount that you've been awarded if you don't want to accept that much. And disbursement works a little bit differently in our program. So you might have seen in orientation the indication that aid, any refund to you will not be released until after the start of your second term class. And this is because there are credit hour limits, or you have to hit a certain credit hour before the aid can be released. So right now you're registered for 3 hours. You need to show enrollment in at least 4.5 hours before aid will be released. So that's going to happen when your second class starts. And that's why we also have a deferred payment plan, or a deferred payment date. The fee invoice date you might have seen was early in September, or excuse me, it's January now, early in January. And it's actually not, you don't have to pay until March 22nd. So we have that deferred payment deadline. And that's why we do that, so that people who get financial aid will have it released before the fees are due. And as for somebody who is a financial aid expert, Barbara Bush, your success coach, is a great person to call. She can look into your account and see if you're missing anything, and she can guide you on accepting or declining your award or submitting your FAFSA. She's a great contact for that. So if you call financial aid directly at UCF, you might have a very long wait time. So Barbara Bush is a great person to reach out to, and I'll make sure that you have her contact information if she hasn't already reached out to you. And then field placement. This is something that a lot of students have questions about. So you're going to start getting information on field next semester. And what will happen is the field team will host something called Let's Get Real About Field. And it's a session where you can ask any questions you might have about what it's like to be in field, what the application process is like. But your field placement, your first field placement, will not begin until a year from now. So in spring 2025, you'll be placed at an agency where you will expect to be doing 10 hours a week at this agency. And when you submit your application, you'll have the opportunity to say where you are, what areas of interest you have, if there are populations that you're very interested in. Let them know your schedule. If you can't do anything on Tuesdays, but you need something on Monday or Thursday, something like that, you want to be sure to indicate that in your application. In the advising portal, which is also in web courses, there's a module on field placement, and it breaks down the differences between generalist placement and clinical placement and tells you a little bit more about what sort of locations, placement options you might come across when you're doing the generalist or clinical internship. So I will get you the contact information for the field team, but just know that they're going to be reaching out to you starting next semester to get started for your placement, because they'd like to have about 6 months to work on things. So start thinking about places in your area, especially if you live somewhere kind of remote and we might not be as familiar with that area as Orlando, for example, and thinking about what agencies or what areas in your community need something. So that's just good to be thinking about. And then getting connected. So as an online student, you might not feel very connected to the main campus, and you might just have your email being blown up by the main campus, by me, but we really need you to check your email. So that is our primary point of contact. We're only allowed to contact you with student information to your UCF email. So please be sure to check it, and please be sure to use it when you reach out to us. I prefer UCF email. because I work remotely occasionally and I'm not always at my desk. So it's best to shoot me an email first, and then we can set up a time to speak via Zoom or on a phone call. Your faculty members might have a different preference for the way they want to be contacted. So be sure to check your course syllabi. They might request that you contact them directly through web courses, and some might ask that you contact them through UCF email. So you want to be sure that you have their contact information correct, so you're not reaching out to one place that they're not checking. Success coaches. So Barbara Bush is your success coach, and I will get you her contact information again, but she's just a great resource for connecting you to different areas of campus. So if you're not sure how to use the library services or the writing center, or if you need help with something that you're not really sure how to get around that would help you be successful in the program, she's a great person who can help you with that. Study strategies, time management, connecting with career services, for example, are all things that she's really great at doing. So I know that the holidays kind of made us difficult to reach. So if you haven't been able to connect with her yet, I would give her some time to get back to you. And hopefully you can connect with her either this term or later this semester. The online advising portal on the web course, on web courses, is a great place to check in when you have a question and you don't know who to ask, or it might be the middle of the night. It might be on the weekend and nobody's available to answer your email right away. It's a great place to check out. So look into those modules. We have things like the plan of study. We have an academic calendar, the field placement information. It's just a good place to check out. And then finally, we have a Facebook group. I did include the link in your welcome email when you were registered for classes. Worry not if you're not on social media. We will definitely post everything to the advising portal as well. We just also like to use the Facebook group. It's a great place to sort of crowdsource information about classes, books, instructors, that kind of thing. So I encourage you to join it if you are on social media. And then there's a confusion sometimes between what a success coach can help you with and what an advisor can help you with. So as your advisor, I'm here to help you with academic support. So if you have any questions about your plan of study or something happening in your classes, if you have questions about like our grade policy or any academic policies, the requirements for not only the program, but if you plan to pursue licensure at the end, I'm a great person to speak with about that. Specifically, I want to encourage you to reach out to me if anything is happening in your class or in your life that might affect your academic performance. Because these classes run so quickly, if you don't tell me until closer to the end of the term, it's hard for me to get you the best help. So I encourage you, if anything comes up, if you're having car trouble, if you're having work difficulties, if something is making it difficult for you to perform at your best, even if you don't think it's very significant, it's a really good idea to reach out with myself or your success coach to help you with that. And then the success coach, as I mentioned before, she's a great person to help you connect to the resources on campus, but she's also really great with like learning strategies and with being your support. So if you feel like you need that extra boost of encouragement, or you're feeling like things aren't really going your way, if there's a challenge, maybe an obstacle that you think, if I could just get through this, everything would be okay. She's a wonderful human being, and she's just a great person to talk to about overcoming those challenges or setting up steps to achieve a goal. So I would really encourage you to reach out to her and make an appointment to talk with her, even if you don't really know why you might want to use her. She's just a really good person to connect with to learn more about the university resources and to sort of manage your time in the program. So I'm going to stop sharing now. That's the end of our presentation. And I will be sure to send you a link to not only the presentation, but also a recording of this and the contact information for some of those people that I mentioned. And I apologize if I rushed through that. We used to have a second advisor, and we would trade off and on about what different slides we did. So this is my first time doing the presentation by myself. But in the coming months, we will have an additional advisor who will be serving you as well, and we'll make sure to introduce them once they're hired. So now I will go ahead and turn it over to you guys, and you can feel free to unmute yourselves, ask any questions you might have. You can type them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer anything I can for you.
Hi. Anyway, well, first I want to say thank you so much, Adriana. That was really helpful. Just knowing all the resources available to us, especially knowing that the first class is supposed to be challenging. Um, it has been definitely a lot of work, and I've had to, carve out a great deal of time for studying. But it's nice to know that like later on there will be more interaction and it'll be a different kind of structure with the classes.
Okay.
I was just wondering if any other students might, or in the past, have made like an online like study group or study sessions to like support each other through the first class. Because I know that it's not part of the class or required or anything, but
Sure.
it's nice to study with other people.
Yeah, so oftentimes what I see happen is a student will reach out to the others in their cohort and say, "Hey, I started a group me or a WhatsApp chat," or they'll connect on Facebook and say, "I'm starting a Facebook group just for our cohort." And so people can get connected that way. And then they might have study sessions. I've seen some videos of them having live Zoom sessions with each other to study. So yeah, it usually takes one student or a couple students to reach out to the others and say, "Hey, I'm interested in getting something like this started. Does one already exist, or can I start one?" So what I can do in the email I'll send out to you with all this information, I can also encourage anybody who's interested in getting something like this started to connect with me, and then I can put you in touch with other members of the cohort who are also interested. And so between you guys, you can set up something. I know the students like to do it themselves so that there's no instructors or advisors or anybody involved. And we have no problem with that. The Facebook is also just students and me. I'm the only sort of administrator in there. So you can feel free to say whatever you'd like to say and get more honest opinions, I'll say, than if you feel like somebody is watching whatever you're saying or doing. But yeah, that's a great idea. And a lot of cohorts do something like that.
Okay, okay, awesome. That sounds great. That would be really helpful.
Sure.
This is Michael. I echo what you just said, and I would also be interested in, getting with people. Sorry, my camera was down. I'm an older student, and I'm like, wow, this is coming pretty fast.
I
So,
know.
and I'm a VP of a tech company, and I'm like, okay, so I've really had to carve out a lot of time, which is fine. I knew that was going to come, but it came harder than I anticipated. So I would also want to study group.
Sure. And I really want to say that I feel like this first class is a poor indication of what the rest of the program will look like. And we have fought with our faculty and our department to make some significant changes to the first class, but I see that it still remains very heavy on the work that you need to do on your own to be
Yeah.
successful in the class, and you're not offered resources outside of sort of your textbook or from your instructor. So we have definitely heard you, and I want to just let you know that it will not be that way in the rest of the program. You'll have just a lot more resources and a lot like more fun. It'll be more of an engaging process to go through this than just having your textbook and then taking a quiz.
Yeah,
So,
it's been a little discouraging because of that. I mean, I don't read regularly 60 to 80 pages a night in anything that I do. And, I've been working probably for over 35 years and, I do things in smaller segments. So I've had to like gear it up. But that first week was brutal. So I was
yeah,
like, it's like I can only get through one page in 6, 7 minutes. And it's
yeah.
going to be like, 17 hours worth of reading. And I'm like, this can't be how this is going to be for 3 years.
Yeah, no, it's not. And yeah, it's an introduction to this program, and it's just not indicative of what will come. And
Fair.
it's a poor introduction, and I apologize for that experience. And so this is when the students typically will start forming their group so that they can lament together, but also help each other get through the rest of the weeks that you have coming. And I mean, honestly, it's over before you know it, but it sucks in it. Yeah. I'm not a social work student myself, but I have taken accelerated online courses, and I really just don't think that this is a great way forward into this. But there's a lot of information that you should know, especially if you're a student out of field. So, there's the trade-off of getting all that information, but you will have much more fun in diversity, your term 2 class.
And so I think you already answered. Hi, Adriana. Hi, everybody. I think you already answered my question. So everybody here is for the social work program. I think somebody did start Group Me already. So maybe I'm gonna try to find it and see. Can I put it in the chat? Is that
Yeah,
available?
oh yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to look for it and see if I can find it. But
Thank you.
that way too, we can all like organize together and plan times to talk about the material and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. And it's so helpful. You'll get very close to your cohort in the next 3 years. So it's great to get started right away, getting to know everybody and where they are and kind of what their backgrounds are and stuff.
Yeah, so it's nice to meet you all.
I feel like going through this first class, knowing that it's the most challenging one that we're going to have academically and just the structure, I've been telling myself, if I can make it through this, I can make it
Yes.
through anything.
Yes. That's
My like
definitely true.
positive way of looking at it. It's been helpful though.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
challenging.
I know it's a lot of information and just a lot of reading. So I think you can relax a little bit when term 2 starts. You'll be able to get more of a break. You'll be able to work together more. So it's just a much better experience moving forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like an avid reader, like casual reading, but like reading to like learn is a lot different in that. So yeah,
Yes.
completely.
Yeah.
I think we're all in the same boat with it's a lot at first.
Yeah.
I had one question. Is there like an academic calendar that's out there that shows like all of the start dates and end dates? So far, I think I only have like the
Spring.
spring that ends like April 26th.
Yes.
So
I just got the finalized version from the main campus yesterday, and I'm making it accessible for everybody. So I will have that out later today. I will post it in the advising portal. I will post it on the Facebook. I will also make sure that in the email that is sent with all of this information that it's included there too. So you'll have it for this semester all the way through spring 2025.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'll say throughout the semester, I'll host another couple of advising sessions like this. So I do the first one at like lunchtime to see if I can capture people on their lunch break. But we do have sort of like drop-in advising sessions that I'll offer in the evening or in the morning for people's schedules. So do you guys have a preference? Does this time work for you? Do you prefer other times during the day?
Yeah, this was fine. I like the lunch hour that or like in the afternoon or like evening.
Cool.
Same for me.
Sure. So I'm typically here from 8 to 5, but because I know we have students, everywhere, I can definitely accommodate if anybody needed an appointment after 5 p.m. Eastern time. So if ever there's a time where you need to meet and you think, oh, she's not going to be able to meet with me because it's not like a work day, we can definitely set something up. So don't worry about that.
Okay, I think I found the Group Me.
Cool. Thank you so
I'm gonna
much.
put it in the chat. Hopefully it works for everybody. It looks like Nina created it. I don't think she's here. So hopefully it's still active. And if not, I can try to make one later today and invite everybody who wants to be on it.
Thank you so much. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's really all I have for you. If you want to stick around, I'll hang out for a few more minutes to answer any questions you might have. If you think of something immediately after this, feel free to send me an email or give me a call and I would be happy to address it.
Great.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Nice to see you guys.
Okay, bye.